Hi, I'm Steve Adubato. This is One-on-One. It is my honor and pleasure to introduce one of the great educators in the state and the nation. She is Terry Kuhnreich, and she's at Vineland High School. She teaches an elective course called Search for Conscience, which is?
Which is an incredible course. It's a history elective. We're controversial, we're edgy, we're off the grid in terms of how I teach, how the kids respond, how we work together.
You created it?
No, actually, I wish I had created it. It was a survivor's son and an assistant superintendent and a fellow teacher who created the course. It's Holocaust-based.
Holocaust-based?
Yes, Holocaust and Genocide, and it was established in 1976. I was still a student there, and there was nothing for Holocaust education at the time. We're one of the early, pioneers.
And you know, the way we found out about you was with through our colleagues at the New Jersey Education Association.
They're great to work with.
And you were part of Classroom Close-Up. So let's take a look at a clip from a Classroom Close-Up special about this initiative, and we'll talk after this.
Being a man of vast experience, I've never been in a courtroom before. I never tried a case before. I said, of course. And so it came about historically that one little 27-year-old guy with no experience whatsoever became the chief prosecutor in what was certainly the biggest murder trial in human history.
Meet Benjamin Ferencz, Harvard Law School graduate, World War II veteran, and chief prosecutor for the United States in the Einsatzgruppen case just after the end of the war, when 22 senior leaders of the paramilitary Nazi death squads were charged with murdering over 1 million people. All the defendants were convicted. It was Ben's first case.
Lesson of the story, be bold, kids. If you know you're right, do it, even if it's never been done before. And that has always been my attitude, and that's why I'm still working at it at the age of 98.
That's right, 70 years after his first trial, Ben continues to work tirelessly toward a more humane and secure world. Today, he's a guest in Terry Kuhnreich's Search for Conscience class here at Vineland High School.
We cover a wide variety of topics, but all roads lead back to the Holocaust. We discuss diversity and racism and prejudice and hatred. We connect it to what's going on today.
It's one of the most popular electives at the high school. And for Terry Kuhnreich, it's personal.
It hits deeper. My parents were survivors. My father had a lot of strength, my mother very bright. My whole world was growing up with survivors. They gave me life lessons that can't be taught in a book. The constant among all the survivors was the concept of hope.
Good morning, how are you?
I am great. How are you? Is that the end of your question?
No. Okay, if you were to go back and change anything, what would you change?
What I would do is I would say stop war making. That's the biggest crime of all. So I would make all wars a crime against humanity. And I need help for the young people to get that idea across in order to save your lives.
I'm going to remember him, and I'm going to remember never give up on anything I ever want to do in life. Never give up.
Don't forget to do it now.
Okay.
There is still genocide today, and a lot of people tend to brush it off their shoulder if it doesn't involve them. But, you know, it's something that needs to be talked about because it doesn't matter your race, religion, sexuality, color, just people are people.
I worked for 50 or 60 years to create a permanent international criminal court, to carry on the work which had been done by the courts at Nuremberg.
You can see in his face the history that he's witnessed. He's stuck with his beliefs. Through years and years and years of sticking with his belief, he's making a difference.
That is extraordinary.
Yeah,
Ben Ferencz.
Yeah,
90...
incredible. 7 years old. Yeah.
What did you see in the students as they were listening to him?
Before he came, I did a lesson on the Einsatzgruppen because that is who he handled at Nuremberg trial. So when he actually was on the big screen, tears. They were so they were already emotionally connected to him through our history.
As the chief prosecutor in that case.
He was, regarding the Einsatzgruppen, what happened was he served with General Patton, he was at D-Day, he was at Liberation, and he fell upon what's called the Teutoburger, which is the death books, and he ran to the lead prosecutor and said, we have to prosecute. We have to get these people. And they didn't have the money. They didn't have the men. And the guy said, well, then you do it. And that was his first court. Yeah, amazing.
For you as an educator, with the personal connection you have to the Holocaust, what's this like for you?
Incredible. It really is. He touched a piece of history that I've been hearing about my entire life. I grew up with it. My parents had it very hard. My in-laws, my husband's parents, also survivors. And Vineland had a large survivors population, so that's my world. That was my world growing up. And sadly, they're disappearing. So it's very important that we keep it alive.
What kind of lessons do you think students are taking away from this?
I would like them to understand you can disagree, but you can't be disagreeable. You can't give up. Always have hope. I don't like the word tolerance. I like the word acceptance.
Difference?
Difference
What's
works.
the difference?
The difference is...
No, difference between tolerance and acceptance is?
Tolerance, I put up with you. Acceptance, I take you the way you are. And that's what I want people to see.
What's it like for you and your students to see the degree of divisiveness, nastiness, personal animus that goes on in our quote-unquote political discourse all across our nation, and you're teaching this?
We discuss it. Both sides are incorrect. There's no one side. You have to learn to listen. Nobody listens. Everybody's talking over the other person. You need to hear. You need to not come to judgment too quickly. Have to do a little research on your own and find those answers if you don't like what you're hearing.
So it's interesting. It's about the Holocaust, but it's also about racism.
Definitely.
It's about intolerance.
Absolutely.
It's about prejudice.
Yes.
It's persecution.
Yes. All of the above. Sexual orientation. We go into all of that. Teen pregnancy.
All relevant today.
All connected. Everything goes back. How can I have you understand the Holocaust if you don't understand your own set of issues? So we have to dig deep. We have to make sure you're connected.
You've been teaching for a few years now?
I've been, believe it or not, 18 years. I was school board president. I took a very strange route to this. I've had my degree since I was about 20. So did everything early. And I had a degree in nutrition when I was thin. So now I teach. It's a little easier.
You look great.
Thank you.
Last question. This Classroom Close-Up initiative.
Yes.
What was it like for you seeing it when it first hit?
It was wonderful. You know, the pride that you get from your children when they answer the questions with thought and they care. And then just seeing Ben Ferenz and the people were from New Jersey Classroom, they were tremendous. They made everything easy, just like you are. It was a pleasure to work with them, and it was very meaningful to me.
Yeah, the Classroom Close-Up people are terrific. They've won a ton of Emmy Awards.
Yes.
The NJA is to be credited for
Absolutely.
this initiative.
Very much so.
Yeah. We thank you.
Thank you.
One more time.
Absolutely.
Terry Kuhnreich is the teacher of an elective course at Vineland High School. It's called Search for Conscience. We thank you and all the public school teachers. I say this every time, but it doesn't get old. All the public school teachers who every day make a difference in the lives of our children, many children. Thanks so much.
Thank you, and we appreciate it. We really do.
Well done.
Thank you.
Be right back right after this.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by the New Jersey Education Association, Investors Bank, Hackensack Meridian Health, Verizon, Choose New Jersey, New Jersey Sharing Network, and by Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.